This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Tuesday morning to you. It is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, Sirius XM Channel 158. Gil Alexander. My little buddy Kelly Bidlin's here as well, everybody.
Hey-o, how we doing?
Hey-o. It's a good start.
Yeah.
You good?
I'm good, man.
Yeah.
Just got done with Hardwood Handicappers. Morning's off to a fast start. Let's go.
So you do Hardwood Handicappers at what time?
Tuesdays at 6 a.m. Pacific time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's how Zach gets you. He gets you to agree to it. 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Every morning.
Yeah.
All right.
And because he lives in Arizona, the whole time change thing not occurring, he's got to wake up an hour earlier now. So.
Oh.
Sorry, Zach.
All right. We look forward to that episode of Hardwood Handicappers.
Mm-hmm.
You have play-in fever tonight?
I do. I don't know if I have play-in fever, Gil, but you know what? As much from a betting standpoint, like we could talk the stat chasing for awards, the tanking. There's all betting opportunities, so I don't really I'm not one of these people that's so glad to be beyond that part of the season.
Oh, I'm not either.
But from a basketball standpoint, yeah, I am. Let's get to some ball where these games, these teams all care. We're going to see their best efforts. Let's get to talking about that.
That's very well put. It's like from a betting perspective, we're not one. Yeah, we're sad to see that go. Carl Sack was killing it, for instance. But yes, just your purest basketball brain. At some point, you're like, okay, let's actually see games.
Let's talk about two teams that are trying their hardest.
That's right. We don't have to worry about motivation anymore. We will talk NBA play-in games coming up. Jake Hahn on the NHL. 3 more nights in the NHL regular season. We have 3 postseason series set in terms of opponents. We'll ask Jake about those, and I'll ask him some playoff questions in addition to his plays tonight, with some motivation in terms of who's going to end up wild card 1, wild card 2 in the East and West. One division is still up for grabs, the Pacific, so we'll get into that, but also just some playoff questions for Jake as well. He'll join us talk NHL. Drew Dinsick on the NBA tonight, tomorrow night, and of course, the first round of the NBA playoffs, which begins Saturday. 4 games, quadruple header on Saturday. I don't know if he has any clay court tournament tennis. He may be smarter than me and sitting it out early on. We shall see with Drew. And Mark Borchardt on baseball later. Paul Carr on the Champions League. It's the number 1 champion sound. We'll
Love
do all
the
that
Tuesday
today.
slate of guests. A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
Right?
And I will do math later on the show.
Oh, right. Math with Gil Alexander.
Because you asked
Stick
me,
around.
because you threw a baseball prop at me later, so math is required.
Oh, good.
Mathematics
Good,
coming
Danny.
up on the show.
We got Gil doing math. I like it.
I can feel the ratings spike already.
I like the prop, too. I like it.
Speaking of, you said a little bit of everything. So you just gave me entree to talk about. Can I do a 2-minute sidebar here on Sunday?
For sure.
So on Sunday, the great Dr. Bob, our buddy, our regular guest on the show, my buddy, Dr. Bob, calls me, leaves a voicemail.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't pick it up. I was like, I got stuff to do. He leaves me a voicemail, and he says, hey, buddy, I feel like I should come to town for a couple days. I have a couple days. I'm just going to town. Are you going to be there? I'm like, I bet I'll be here. I texted him back. And so
Did you actually text him back, bet?
I think word was what I said.
Oh, okay. No, see, that makes more sense.
Yeah,
I'm more comfortable with that.
Yeah, word. Although bet was in my time too. These are all retro. These guys are using stuff we used 40 years ago.
Really?
Yes, we used bet. We also used I'm pressed about something. Now they're using that again. Anyway, that's the whole story.
I've maybe gotten angry.
Nothing this generation does is original.
I've maybe gotten angry a couple times at VSiN for bet being used as slang because I'm like, no, we're a betting network. You can't say that in that way.
That's true. You can't do that. Anyway, so Bob, I was having dinner last night with Bob at the great Barry's here at Circa. Mm-hmm. Have you ever been to Barry's before?
Many times.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Many
times. Bob mentions to me that his trusted assistant, Tanner Busick, I hope I'm pronouncing is it Buzick or Busick? I don't know Tanner how you pronounce Tanner's last name, but Tanner has moved on. Tanner is now working with Rufus and his brother, the Peabody brothers.
Oh, okay.
So because Tanner came to Bet Bash, was it this year? Was it last year? I can't remember which year it was, and met some people, and it occurred to me that in addition, this is all, by the way, under the umbrella of we need to put Dr. Bob in the Hall of Fame. We need to put him in the Sports Betting Hall of Fame. This is a plea to Spanky and all these. We can't have a Hall of Fame without Dr. Bob, because in addition to being not only a pillar of picks right, throughout the years, a documented great record over thousands of plays in multiple sports, a guy who moved markets, especially like he still moves markets when he releases plays, but like in the mid-2000s, sports books had no idea what was happening to them when Dr. Bob would release plays. Wall Street Journal, CNN, CNBC, all this stuff he was featured in. In addition to all that, it occurred to me when he brought up Tanner going to work for the Peabody Brothers, I was like, you know what else Dr. Bob has as his Hall of Fame candidacy? He now has a
coaching tree.
A coaching tree. Yeah. That's exactly how. That's exactly right. And if you do it in chronological order, if you go back to the aughts, Galen Hall worked with Bob. Galen, who just was one of the Survivor winners, and who, if you ever want to Google best fold in the history of poker, Galen will come up. Galen worked with Dr. Bob. Much of what is on Bob's website is written by Galen. And even Bob will admit, hey, Galen's smarter than I am. No one's in Galen's category. But that was the first guy that sort of came through the door with Dr. Bob. Right after that in 2010s, I worked with Dr. Bob. I did baseball for him for 3 years. I overlapped. Carl Sack showed up as I was leaving. Carl Sack, who up until last year was with Bob for all these years. Carl Sack moving NBA lines for all those years. And then here's Tanner. We got to put Doctor. That's it. That's all I have to say. Dr. Bob needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
That's well said, man. It really doesn't matter what business you work in. I think the ability to recognize talent and develop it and coach it up and help coach it up and push it along is an incredible skill that is valued in every industry.
He also would be the last person. If he heard this, if he was awake right now to hear this, he would wince. He even said he goes, I would never show up to my Hall of Fame induction. I said, yeah, I will make you. He says you probably will. And then the last thing is, everybody who has gone away from him remains great friends with him, which in this little corner of the world with a bunch of horrible people, where people can't even be friends when they work for the same thing, right, is just a remarkable skill. That's my plea. Dinner tonight with Bob and my mishpucha.
Well, and at that level too, there's usually a lot of money involved in those kind of splits and stuff too.
It's fantastic.
It's tough.
Fantastic. There you go. Anyway, baseball yesterday. The Angels and the Yankees. Did you see this game yesterday?
Yeah, I actually did watch a lot of it.
What a baseball game. Yankees win 11-10. They beat the Angels in a game where, where do you start it in this one? The Yankees go up, a two-run homer from Judge in the first. The Yankees go up 2-0. Then they go up 4-0. L.A., the Angels tie them, plating 4 runs in the fourth, top of the fourth, to make it 4-4. Then New York goes up 3 on a Trent Grisham 3-run shot in the bottom of the fifth to make it 7-4. Trout responds. The great Mike Trout responds with a 3-run homer of his own in the top of the sixth to tie it up at 7-7. Judge solo shot, bottom six, 8-7 New York. Judge's second of the game. L.A. ties it up 8-8, top of the seventh. Then in the ninth, top of the ninth, Trout 2-run shot to put the Angels up 10-8, his second of the game. Remember the 3-run homer earlier and tied up at 7. Bottom of the ninth, Jordan Romano comes in for the Angels, and you know what happens next. Chisholm single, Grisham with his second homer of the game. 10-10 at that point. And then Caballero double, steals third. Wells walks to second. Wells walks then to second on indifference. Ball 4 is a wild pitch. Caballero scores, ball game. What a game. And the Yankees win their first 1-run game of the year against 6 1-run losses. Yankees 11, Angels 10. The Yankees are to do something with this season. You might look back at this game as sort of the jumping off point.
Yeah, you always do a great job with it, but the 1-run games are always fascinating to track throughout the season.
Also, when Trout does something like this, I always go to his, was it the 2009 MLB draft? The Angels had 2 consecutive picks in the 20s. I want to say it was 20. It was like 22 and 23. Don't hold me. That was like 23 and 24 maybe. But anyway, they went Randall Grichuk, my buddy, first, and then Mike Trout right after that. And career stats, Trout 408 homers, Grichuk 212. Trout 1,030 RBI, Grichuk 629. And I bring that up to say, because when I say that, people are like, wow, I didn't realize Grichuk would be more than halfway towards both of those numbers, because people don't think of these two things as the same thing. But it just really speaks to Imagine if Mike Trout didn't have the injuries. How just unbelievable his numbers would be.
Injuries, different team, right?
I don't know about the team, but the injuries for sure.
Yeah.
And the other big thing yesterday was also Garrett Crochet.
Yeah, knocked around, huh?
Yeah, Garrett Crochet got knocked around. Is saying the very understatement. Gave up 10 earned runs, 11 total runs, but 10 earned on 9 hits in 1 2/3 innings in Boston's 13-6 loss to the Twinkies yesterday. Crochet, of course, second in the Cy last season behind Tarek Skubal, becomes the first Red Sox pitcher to allow 10 runs in fewer than 2 innings.
How about that, though?
Just to give you an idea.
Red Sox have been around quite a while.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have.
That's a pretty, I was not expecting to see that.
It's a good call. They have been around a while. Crochet, now, his ERA balloons into 7.58. And again, for those holding Garrett Crochet tickets, just to do a little division here, for him to get his ERA down to a 4.00 ERA, he would have to throw 17 scoreless innings from this point. To get his ERA down to 3.50, he would have to throw over 25 innings of scoreless ball.
Huh.
And to get his ERA down to 3.00 from where it is after an outing like that, he would need to throw 32 innings of scoreless baseball.
And plus 850 to win Cy Young. Second on the board.
That's the hill you create when you have an outing like that. One note on my Cy Young play yesterday, and we'll get into the play-ins tonight in the NBA. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Who's your friend?
Oh, this is AI Sports Betting Bot 3000. Watch this.
Hello, bet $100 on Chicago.
Great idea. Too bad Chicago's not playing.
You just passed the test. Put it on New York.
You know their goalie just got injured.
No.
Automated bet tracking, community data-driven insight. Download the app free and bet smarter with Juice Reel.
Good robot.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network.
Coming up on the next edition of Follow the Money, the play-in tournament begins. 2 games to break down. Adam Hill joins the show to talk NFL draft, and the Raiders are on the clock. Nick Whalen, props, picks, NBA playoffs and play-in games, and Derek Stevens, owner of Circa, joins the show to discuss the Masters recap. Follow the Money 4 to 7 Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, SiriusXM channel 158. Check out the website for all the betting tools and analysis, or get the VSiN Watch app.
Game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Want to bet smarter? I know you do. Start with smarter insights on the website, vsin.com. Zach Cohen's Heat, Hornets, Blazers, Suns previews. We're just talking off air. Kelly was like, wait, who plays tonight? What are the seeds?
Nobody quizzed me on what seeds people are and who plays tonight.
This is why I got so ornery about it yesterday. Steve Makinen's play-in and first-round NBA trends. Greg Peterson's MLB best bets later today. You can check out Wes Reynolds' RBC Heritage previews and picks. Jonathan Davis's NHL best bets. Yeah, I went Davis's and I went Reynolds's. And NBA first-round series previews. Get VSiN Pro for as little as $9.99 for your first 30 days or save 50% off with an annual subscription. Find all of our subscription options at vsin.com/subscribe. We get tweet speed of the book. Always appreciate it from everybody. This is from our buddies at Just Win Bets, baby. They said, just to follow up, gentlemen. Trust the process, my friends. Could we get a follow from you guys, please? He says, what does he got something here? He's got almost a 400-1 cross-sport parlay. Caps missed the playoffs. That got home. UConn to reach the Final Four. That got home. He's still waiting on Man City to win the Prem. We got to talk to Paul Carr about that because things are changing atop the Prem.
Yeah, let's go.
And and he's got the Niners to win the NFC this coming year. That's his four-legger for 400-1. He's halfway home. At least 2 out of 4. I don't know if he's halfway home. Halfway home, and his pages started blowing up.
Boom. I like it.
Monty Capoletti. I just finished the Woodstock 99 documentary, like that Frankenstein fella. I think I saw metalhead Kelly Bidlin practicing his Tankapalooza voice in the massive pit.
Yeah, probably.
Woodstock 99, one of the great modern-day docs ever.
Mm-hmm.
So well done. Tim Bowers. Speaking of NHL playoffs, can you ask Jake when he comes on if there's any conversation of the NHL switching their playoff format? It's absolutely ridiculous how one of the top 3 teams in the West will be eliminated in the first round while Edmonton gets such an easy path. So you know how the NHL playoffs work, Kelly? 2 conferences, 4 divisions.
Mm-hmm.
The top 3 teams in each division get in, and then the next 2 best teams in that conference. So 6 atop the 2 divisions, so 3 and 3, and then the next 2, regardless of which division per conference. And so you do end up with a very odd playoff format where...
So what's the outrage? Is that there should just be the best 8?
What he's saying...
Regardless?
What's that?
Should just be the best 8 regardless of division?
Yeah, what he's saying is I think what he's saying is, yes, the Pacific Division, right? Right now, heading into the last 3 games of the season, the Vegas Golden Knights have the lead, but they're only at 93 points.
When did this happen? I just pulled this up.
Well, that's the worst division in hockey, right?
VGK, though. I feel like they've been trailing the whole season.
So the point being that the 2 3s in both of the Western Conference divisions play each other, but the 1 in the West is playing Edmonton. I guess that's what he's saying. And so Edmonton has I don't know. So basically it's weighted in a way where somebody better is going to lose. I don't know if I articulated that well at the end, but the way that the format is, it's kind of janky.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Danny helping me out, too. Tortorella, 6-0-1 since becoming a head coach of the Golden Knights.
Yeah, that changed matters.
Where was I feel like I haven't been feeling it in the town. The fever.
Yeah, I haven't felt the fever either.
My Anaheim Ducks are falling behind. I proclaimed they were a good team in the West a week ago.
Niemo, guys, it felt like Ryan's voice. He says, guys, it felt like baseball really started last night. Tons of homers and overs, fun action. The Twins are atop the AL, and both fans at Target Field went wild. Go Twinkies.
Started for me last night. That was the first night where I'm on the couch. I'm like, I got hockey and baseball on. Let's go.
Last name Nash. My reaction when I hear there will be math on the show. He's screaming nerd at me. And then Joe DeFan said, made a quiz for Gil for later. Good luck. Oh, he's giving me an applied calculus quiz. Great.
Yeah, Joe, I didn't make it that far, man.
That should be fun. Oh, last thing before we move on, because I mentioned Crochet, what he has to do to get to 4.00 ERA, 3.50, and 3.00 ERA in terms of scoreless innings from this point forward after his horrible outing yesterday against the Twins. My Mason Miller NL Cy Young play yesterday, what I failed to mention yesterday when making that play is, and again, how I couched it was, I want it in my account because if he has this unbelievably epic season as a closer, I just want to know that it's there at a great number. But what it would require is the entire suspension of the Tom Tango formula, right? Because a closer cannot win using the Tango formula. And remember, Tango has this unbelievable record heading back like 20 years almost now. But you can't get enough innings in the Tango formula. Tango's formula is innings pitched divided by 2. God, there's more math. Innings pitched divided by 2 minus earned runs plus strikeouts divided by 10 plus wins. A closer is not going to get enough wins, is not going to get enough innings pitched to make that work out points-wise. So it requires voters to suspend that formula because a reliever did something so off the charts, and that is why I wanted to have it in the account. But I should have mentioned that yesterday. It does require that suspension of belief on the Tango formula. But I think that would be the one thing that would create the suspension of belief on that formula. By the way, here are my plays so far. Season longs, Guardians under 80.5, Rangers over 83.5, Mackenzie Gore to win AL Cy, Mason Miller to win NL Cy, and then Logan Webb, most regular season wins. He says quietly, God, the Giants are bad.
Long way to go.
Long way to go. I don't know if you know this, it's still April.
Yeah, it's early, man.
All right, plans. Got anything tonight or tomorrow? So just to recap, if you missed yesterday, the reason that Kelly and I were talking about this off air is because one of my pet peeves is that I think NBA writers collectively are the least detail-oriented writers in the world. We saw it with the 65-game minimum, where Kelly and I had to do all the research to figure out all the loopholes. Oh, you get 2 games of 15 to 20 minutes. You had to search 20 articles before you got the answers you were looking for, right? Oh, the NBA Cup final counts as a game for Wembanyama? And then with the 10-9s and the 7-8s, I went through the play-in history yesterday because stuff like that interests me. Why are the Sixers not playing tonight? They're a 7-8. The Sixers are the 7 seed. It's because there was an arena conflict. You had to search 15 articles to get that information also before you found it. Now, a day later, everybody kind of knows. But that's why tonight is a 10-9 game in the East and a 7-8 game in the West, 7-8 being what they normally would have had this night, at least for the last couple years, or 3 out of the last 4. So Hornets now 5.5-point favorites. I've seen a 6 on this.
Yeah, I think it's mainly 6s now.
Yeah. And then the Suns are 3.5-point favorites against the Blazers. Remember, the Suns-Blazers winner becomes the 7 seed. The Heat-Hornets loser is eliminated based on seeding.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Kelly says as he double-checks the seeds again and what days we're playing them on. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know why this is messing
tomorrow
with
night,
as much as it is.
Tomorrow night, the 7-8, the Sixers Magic in the East. The winner of that will be the 7 seed. The loser will play the winner of the Hornets Heat tonight. Tomorrow night, the Warriors Clippers, the 10-9. The loser of that's eliminated. The winner will take on the loser of the Suns-Blazers game today. Remember, so that Suns-Blazers game today, the winner's in as a 7 with the beautiful right to play the San Antonio Spurs in a best of 7. But the team that loses that Blazers or Suns will get another shot later this week on Friday.
I hope. So I'll start with Blazers Suns. I have nothing in this game. No bets. Would be slight lean to the Blazers side and lean to the under, but man, that total is low already. 217.5. Very low. I'll be rooting for the Blazers to win this, Gil, just because I think they could give the Spurs at least an interesting matchup as far as could take a game or two. This is also Zach and I were laughing about this morning. I think this is one of the last NBA hardo games left of I can't wait to watch this game tonight. I don't believe in either one of these teams making it far in the playoffs though. But I think it's going to be a very entertaining game. That's kind of where I'm at there. And then I do have a bet in on the Hornets. I made that on open, laid 5. I'm sure that will be pretty common here in the play-in games to be on the Charlotte side. Yes, I think Eric Spoelstra, all these offensive weapons being healthy for Miami. That's big. I think the biggest thing that sticks out to me about the Miami Heat, though, the past few weeks is just since in the last month, 3rd worst defense in the NBA. It's been an absolute disaster, and they've really rode a really good defense throughout the course of the season, along with this up-tempo offense. Hornets have designed so much of their team to be like the Boston Celtics. Yes, on a one-off game, could they have a bad shooting night and they're not able to get home? It doesn't matter as much in a 7-game series when the averages kind of play out. Yeah, that could happen tonight. I think, but if you get the best from Charlotte, though, and what you've seen from this Miami team recently, I think that the Hornets, I would be fine laying 6.
If Eric Spoelstra does Eric Spoelstra things and the Heat somehow win this game, the Hornets will be eliminated.
Yeah.
How how much of your world will be upside down? You and your NBA hardo types. Will it just explode? Your brains will explode at this?
No, I wouldn't put it like that. But I think it's
after a season of hyping that team up, that would be amazing to me.
I think it's kind of similar to what we're seeing with the Lakers right now. With the Lakers losing their stars, it's kind of just a blow to that conference's playoffs, in my opinion. Like, yeah, I do think the Hornets. Yes, I think the Hornets are a real team in the Eastern Conference playoffs. They're still not quite as good, maybe, as some of those teams at the top, and that's what I would have said about the Lakers. Too, but they lose Luka and Austin Reeves. We'll see when they get back, but it just makes them they're not really a threat anymore.
You make any bets for tomorrow night yet, or no?
No, nothing.
Not yet for tomorrow. Okay. Let's talk some NHL playoffs. 3 nights left in the NHL season, regular season, but the playoffs are upon us thereafter. Jake Hahn next on A Numbers Game.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big, we go all night, and here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
Laptop or phone, couch or sportsbook, VSiN goes where you go. Wherever you watch VSiN, the experience stays seamless. Live shows, replays, and sports-specific clips all at your fingertips. VSiN Watch puts you in the driver's seat. Available in Roku, Samsung, Amazon, iOS, Android, app stores, or get it direct from the source at VSiN.com. Download VSiN Watch today on your favorite app store and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back on the numbers game, live from Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Gil Alexander, Kelly Bidler. We get sweet speed of the book. Always appreciate it from everybody. We are super grateful. Best listeners in the game. Have I mentioned that before? This is from Pick 10. Ooh, Pick 10. You know what he said? He says, Kelly, you don't feel it around town. Talking about hockey fever. He says, because Vegas isn't a real sports town, he says. Taking a shot at Vegas.
You better be careful with Golden Knights fans out
Yeah,
here.
man. Golden Knights fans are legit.
I learned early on that you don't walk into a sports bar in this town.
Oh, they don't play.
And ask them to turn it to an NBA game when the Golden Knights are on.
It's
I'm actually dead serious.
It's really true.
It really is. It's very impressive.
Although, once again, I get back to year one of the Golden Knights when they got to the Stanley Cup final. And having grown up with the Caps, 44 years of waiting for it, they acted like it was a calamity that they didn't win it.
Yeah.
Like, all right,
Gil and I have made multiple comments of, let's check in with the city after there's been a 3-year drought. We really haven't seen that yet, though.
They've been around for 6 years? They've been to one and they won another.
It's incredible.
Brian Schaefer, 31. Gil, I like your Mason Miller bet. I don't think the voters will pick a closer again. Now, this is what I was talking about with the formula. He said Lidge went 41 for 41 in saves 2008, didn't even finish in top 3. Your boy Lincecum won it that year, 18-5, 2.62 ERA. Yeah, because he's Timmy Lincecum, baby. No, but that's the point of the Mason Miller also. He would have to be so dominant, right, that voters completely suspend their typical rationale of how they do this. And there is a world where that happens, is the point. Del Mind the Gap Radio. Flyers fans rejoice, we are in. Best fan base in all of sports. Plus 140 versus the Pens, series number 1. We'll get to Jake here momentarily because I want to ask him about all this. And Money Gun Guz. Hello, Gil and Kelly. Just asking for a friend, but is there a 10-minute segment this week on the WrestleMania card and a breakdown of the matchups? Thanks, brother. That's the old Hulk Hogan line. Is Wayne Brady going to have to get Wyatt and Topcheck on the show?
I was going to say, it's funny, is Danny Wyatt and I were talking the other day about how, I guess at this time last year, WrestleMania was in Vegas and I was in Turks and Caicos, and Wyatt came on and did a WrestleMania segment.
Are there betting lines for this stuff?
Man, I think there is. I don't know.
If you can find those for me, then we got to have a Wyatt Topcheck segment.
Pretty sure there is offshore.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk hockey. Jake Hahn joins us now, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. You can follow him on Twitter, JHahn4. That's H-A-H-N. And, of course, he's the co-host of The Point and the Fantasy Hockey Show on SiriusXM NHL. How you doing, Jake?
Doing great, guys. It's playoff week for the NHL. Now, we have to wait till Saturday for some actual playoff games, but I didn't think we'd be talking this morning and already know the 16 teams in the postseason. Yes. It's been so close all year. The West wildcard race has been tight. The East race has been very tight. I figured this would take until Wednesday night, heck, maybe Thursday night for the Western Conference. So we actually have our teams now. There's still a lot of positioning that can be done, different matchups that could potentially happen over the next few nights. But as we sit right now, we already know our 16 teams that are going to be dancing come Saturday.
Yes, we do. We know the 16 teams. Now, we don't know wild card 1 or wild card 2 in the East. We don't know that in the West. We also don't know a division winner in the West, specifically in the Pacific, where the Knights with 93 points, right? One division is not like the other 3, sit atop currently with 3 games left. But we do have 3 series that we do know are going to start. One of which is the Atlantic second place and Atlantic third place teams, the Canadiens and the Lightning. What a series that is to open the playoffs. What are your thoughts on that?
So any combination we were going to get in the Atlantic was going to be really tough to predict. Buffalo, Montreal, Tampa, those 3 teams have been fighting out now for a while. And ultimately now we do know we are going to get Montreal and Tampa Bay. Now I'd expect Tampa to be the favorite in this series. We still need to decide home ice advantage. And that's still on the line for these teams the next couple of games. But let's assume Tampa gets home ice advantage. They should be a decent sized favorite in this series. There's just something about Montreal, guys, come postseason time, no matter how good the team is. It feels like they have a little bit of magic. Now, this is also a rematch of a Stanley Cup final from one of the COVID years where we got some weird divisions, and it ended up that division teams actually played each other in the Cup final. Things were a little bit fractured that year. Now, Tampa won that easily. This is a totally different version of the Montreal Canadiens now. They do have a lot of young talent in this roster, a lot of players that have taken a step, a 50-goal scorer now in Cole Caulfield. Unfortunately, it looks like Noah Dobson on the back end will be out for this series for the Montreal Canadiens. That's a real tough loss defensively for them. So depending on the price, I think I might have a little play on the Habs and at least least in certain situations throughout this series, I will be playing the Montreal Canadiens at plus money. I think it's going to be a long series. Maybe Tampa comes out top in the end, but I think this one's going at least 6 or 7.
Habs are 2-1. The Lightning are minus 245 favorites. Canadians $2 coming back. You like that price?
I do like that price. I do like that price on Montreal. I think it should be a lot closer. I understand Tampa being the favorite. I totally get it. They've got, a lot of top players at key positions. Vasilevsky between the pipes. We know he's been a difference maker for years now. And Nikita Kucherov, you could argue, should win the Hart Trophy this year. One of the most talented players in the league. So all those things point towards Tampa. You look at coaching with John Cooper, what he's been able to do with this team, was a Team Canada coach at the Olympics. So Tampa's got a lot of things going for them here, guys. But I just think that this division all year has proved that there's not much separating these teams, that when they go head to head, Montreal could win, Tampa, Buffalo could win. There's just not much between these teams. You could even extend that to Ottawa and Boston in the wildcard positions of Atlantic Division teams as well. So I don't think anybody should be 2-1 in a series with any of these teams.
The randomness of hockey, again, stats by Lopez, shout out. In order for 80% of NBA favorites in series, best of sevens get through, in order for 80% of hockeys to get through, you got to play a best of 51. It just speaks to the randomness of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Let's go through the other two series that are set already and get your thoughts on that. So Tampa Bay and Montreal in the East, the A2 and A3, the Atlantic 2 and the Atlantic 3. The Metropolitan second place and third place. The Penguins and the Flyers. Talk about old school hockey right here. Penguins are a minus 170 series price favorite. Flyers plus 140 on the comeback.
My Flyers, guys, I have to say I have a little bit of bias involved here. I have a very good friend that's on this team right now. He's played a couple of games. He's been a healthy scratch the last few games. He's actually most likely to get into tonight's game against Montreal, as they're going to be resting some players, and probably had a little bit of a party last night in Philadelphia as they clinched that playoff spot. So looking ahead to that series, Battle of PA, we're going way back to the early Crosby days. They had some great series between these two teams. Maybe a little bit of a different looking series. But expect Philly to try to lock it down a little bit. Pittsburgh wants to open it up. So I'm curious what sort of style ends up coming through in this one. But I'm looking forward to it. I think Philly's got a legitimate chance. I feel like all year I've been thinking Pittsburgh is going to make the second round. Now that we're here and I'm breaking down the series and Philly's coming in with a lot of momentum, guys, I certainly give them a shot in this one. I'd lean Pittsburgh, but I don't love that price. I don't think they should be that big of a favorite. I think where you jump in on Pittsburgh, they're going to have home ice advantage here. If we see a 1-1 split, Philly's able to win one of those games, you are going to see the price come down on Pittsburgh after 2 games. I think that's where I'd be willing to jump in on the Penguins in this series.
All right, the only other one we know is in the Central, the 2 and the 3 there, the Stars and the Wild. This one is as close to a coin flip as it gets in terms of a series price. Stars are minus 125.
So at one point a couple of weeks ago, the Wild were playing some really solid hockey. Dallas was not at all. And some of that was injury related for the Dallas Stars. Now they've been getting some players back into that lineup. I would expect them to rest players their last game of the season because they have been very banged up, guys. And some key players, including Mikko Rantanen, have been out of the lineup for extended periods of time. This is a tough one. This is one we've had a lot of time to think about because it honestly feels like since Christmas, we knew these two teams were going to meet. It was just a matter of who has home ice advantage. Dallas has had the recent playoff success, multiple conference final appearances. Minnesota has had no playoff success to speak of really in the history of their franchise. I got a gut feeling this is the year that Minnesota bucks the trend, guys. I think they have the players to do it. I am a little bit worried about down the middle of the ice, how they match up against the Dallas Stars. So I'm going to have a little bit of interest in the Minnesota Wild in that series. I think they caught a tough deal last year. I thought they were very good in the first round against Vegas, just couldn't find a way to win that series. I think this could be the year we see a playoff series win for Minnesota.
You like this playoff format? Tim Bowers on Twitter earlier was like, I don't like it because Edmonton has a clear path. You don't like it. No, you don't like it at all.
No, I don't. I think most hockey fans still want 1 versus 8. If you grew up, if you grew up in my era, if you grew up in an era even before mine, you like it just cuts so clean, guys. I think a lot of casual fans that want to jump in this time of the year as well look at it. It gets a little confusing. It is. You get the same teams every year. Edmonton and LA, all of a sudden it looks like they might meet again for the 100th time in a row, it feels like. So you do get tired of sort of the same matchups. At the very least in the East, guys, we are getting some fresh blood this year. Buffalo in there. We're seeing some different teams. Philly and Pittsburgh have been great stories. So that part of it's been nice this year.
All right, slim pickings. There are 3 more games, but there is some motivation. You have a few picks tonight?
So you could play these any sort of way that you want, but I'm looking for teams that still have something to play for. We know everybody's clinched up their playoff spot now, but there is still seeding. There's home ice advantage. I mentioned with Montreal, still battling with Tampa for home ice advantage in that series. I think Philly is going to have a skeleton-like roster tonight. They are having a bit of a party last night after they clinched. They also have nothing to play for. They can't move up or down. I like Montreal in that game, just a more motivated team. Utah as well. I like the Mammoth as a favorite tonight. Again, they want that wild card one. Wild card one is so important over wild card two. The Jets are officially done right now. Yeah. So Mammoth a lot to play for, and the Kings in Vancouver still looking for positioning as well. And even though they clinched last night, I don't think they're going to stop here. They want to avoid that wild card two spot, just like Utah, who I just mentioned.
Habs, Mammoth, and Kings. Kelly's Mammoth, part of that trio.
Sweet Zamboni.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Jake. Very exciting time of year. Appreciate it.
Good stuff, guys. Next week, we'll be talking some playoffs.
VSiN's player prop projection tool is now available for the NBA. Get projections for points, assists, rebounds, and more powered by Opta AI. On VSiN.com/NBA props, we line up our projections against the latest DraftKings odds so you can quickly spot mismatches and find value before the market adjusts. The NBA player prop projections tool is available exclusively to VSiN Pro subscribers. Check it out now at VSiN.com/NBA props and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Your favorite VSiN shows and personalities are now available to download as podcasts. Catch every hour of our live broadcast with VSiN Best Bets, or find your go-to show and download it directly. Get instant reactions to last night's games, sharp analysis on today's biggest matchups, and everything in between. Whether you're commuting, working out, or just catching up, VSiN lets you take the action with you wherever and whenever you want. Search VSiN on your favorite podcast platform and get in on the action with VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Un partido de números. A numbers game. Live from Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Gil Alexander. People, whenever I say un partido, there's always the juego portion of our audience that gets upset by that. And I'm just saying, if you spend any time in Spain, you got to go with partido. The whole thing.
See.
We get tweets beating the book. Michael Salvino. What's your top selection for dinner at Barry's? You know, you'd have to ask Bill 80 that question because he eats there, I believe, 175 times a year.
Yeah. Matt Brown's not far behind him, probably about 125.
I tried throwing Bill's name around just to see if I get anything free last night. Didn't work out.
I've had many different cuts there. I usually always grab the ribeye cap.
Yeah, they have a ribeye cap, which is a big deal.
Yep.
I got the filet. It was great.
Yep.
But I haven't eaten there enough to give a proper answer to that question.
See, and I don't eat there often enough. I've definitely eaten there enough, but I mean, with how long it's been open now. But I think the best thing you can say about Barry's, in my opinion, it has one of, if not the coolest, just kind of the ambiance, like the how it's decorated, where the bar's at, like the lighting. I think it's really cool in there.
Yeah. It's no carbone for ambiance, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
it was great. I had a beet salad also before. That was spectacular. Yeah. I think that's a new on the menu. You don't like beets?
Beet salad, though.
Beets, something you would hate as a kid, but as an adult, I love.
And living in Russia, it's like all they ate.
Just remember you had a beet salad the night before. That's all I have to say. Norm in Vegas. Kelly's shocked that Golden Knights are in first place. He needs to get his head out of that Take-a-Palooza day-to-day regular season sewer known as the NBA and follow competitive regular season league. No maintenance days.
Hey, man, no, I have no rebuttal to that remark.
Norm, you are so right.
No rebuttal to that.
Scola. Oh, man, Scola went in hard on Jake. Jake Hahn, we get it. You live in Canada. Is he allergic to color? It's like he lives in an igloo. That or a white paint can exploded. Jeez. Seems aggressive.
Yeah, very.
Or maybe just the way I read it. Cody bets football. Cody Holloway says, oh, there's WrestleMania odds, all right. Bet US, wager on the internet. Yeah.
I think one thing that, I don't have to say this about wrestling, but I'll say it anyways, is I find it interesting, Gil, that prediction markets don't have it up, but offshore sports books do.
How do prediction markets will absolutely have it up by then, right?
I don't know. I don't see it at Kalshi. I mean, isn't it all scripted? Like, I don't think that they're going to post something like that.
Like prediction markets ever shied away from insider trading information.
Yeah, but isn't this one so on the nose?
This one might be telegraphed. Yes, you are correct.
Like that, those were events that you weren't supposed to know the outcome to that people did. Like this is
yes. Yeah, that's a good point. This one is a telegraphed one where it's like, okay, we know that people know. Whereas the other ones, they can act like people don't know.
This isn't this hasn't changed, right? I don't ever mean to come across as hating on the WrestleMania groups. It's always working in sports media. Nothing has blown my mind more in my almost 20 years now. Of how many people I work with at no matter what network, no matter what station, that are just obsessed with it. And I never got into it. When I was younger, and then, I lived in Russia, so,
couldn't
you just
agree
don't.
More.
So, I don't get it, but I have respect for all the fans out there, but,
I'm not sure I do, but I get it.
It's all scripted, though, right? Like, there's nothing's changed with that, right?
Listen, there was a guy as a kid, ST Jones.
Okay.
I was a kid. I didn't know that this was scripted,
and
right?
I'd love to go to one. I'd love to go.
So, ST Jones, the script for every ST Jones fight was, he would get destroyed, and then somehow, 80% of the way through the fight, he would just mount this unbelievable comeback. And as a kid, I'm going crazy watching it on a Saturday morning. That's when they aired it in D.C. And then he would get killed eventually. Every ST Jones fight was like that. So then when I found out it was fake, I was crestfallen. I was like, what? And in my brain, much like yours, I'm like, I couldn't, that was it for me. I couldn't watch it anymore. Now, we have Wyatt. When you were off that weekend, Wyatt came in and talked WrestleMania. I was like, we don't have to do anything else because that's all people want to talk about.
And I'm sure the passion coming out of Wyatt and the responses that you got on Twitter were probably massive.
Yes, they were. All right, Wyatt. Where's Wyatt? Somebody get Wyatt out of the closet. We got to do that.
I don't know is this one of the days he comes to work, Danny?
Yeah.
I don't know.
See,
I shouldn't say that. He's producing long shots later, so he's working on it.
Yeah, you better watch what you say. Jason McKinney. Didn't get to listen live yesterday, but wondering if I missed the results of the ANG Masters Splash Challenge.
Oh, we never reviewed that.
Well, it wasn't the ANG Masters Splash Challenge. It was the whole VSiN Masters Splash Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I got Oberged. He says I had a 5-leg Masters parlay, plus 1158 on top, 10 finishes, and Ludwig top 20 was a leg, and he bogeyed 2 of the last 3 to finish T21. Jeez.
Damn.
I lost on him, too. And yes, Fezzik, I know how you feel about parlays, he says, but I thought I would add a little more fun to what you call a boring Masters. Worst take ever history. Kelly is now safe with his football should all be played indoors because Fezzik just topped it with the Masters is boring. Both of you guys should get in a room and fight it out.
I think you're kind of stretching my statement. It's just, if I were to build, much like your Commanders, if I were to build a new stadium, it just wouldn't even be a thought. Just these days, just wouldn't even be a thought.
Okay, now you're softening how you're phrasing it, but ultimately it gets down to you want a football to be indoors.
I still believe it.
I don't know, backtracking now.
I want consistent stats in football so I can bet easier. It's more consistent when there's no wind, snow, anything.
Can't believe they're putting like a state-of-the-art on that RFK soil. It's amazing.
It looks great. You're going to love it.
Oh, I'm sure I won't. Yeah, maybe I will. It'll look beautiful. Rules for Society has a baseball bet. He says Pirates first 3 -1.5. He's going run line on the Pirates first 3.
But Skeens pitched yesterday.
For Pirates first 3 run line, you got to get big plus money on it, which he does. Plus 195 against Michaelis, always basically fading the gas can that is Miles Michaelis. I'm not betting it, but I understand where you're going with that. Rules for Society.
That's got to be a half run.
But
right?
going run line first 3 takes some onions. No matter how bad the gas can is.
What'd they put up last night? Like 15? Offense is clicking.
Yes. Pirates can hit. Buccos can hit. Todd Wishnev always says Buccos can't hit. They can now. American League Cy Young, because we talked a little bit about National League earlier. So, and I guess I did talk about American League when it came through with the Garrett Crochet outing yesterday. Garrett Crochet, again, for him to get to a 4.00 ERA after he gave up 10 earned runs in 1 2/3 yesterday, just an absolute horrific outing. Crochet needs to throw 17 scoreless to get to a 4.00 ERA. That's what it would take. Would have to throw over 25 innings of scoreless to get to a 3.50 ERA at this point, and would need 32 innings of scoreless to get to a 3.00 ERA. That's how much that kind of outing impacts that stat. That old baseball card stat. Tarek Skubal, though, at plus 210. Both Skubal and Crochet are 2-2 out of the gate. Like, it has not been, like, Skubal had that cold weather game.
Mm-hmm.
It has not been good for, it's not been spectacular for either. But Skubal, I think, is correct. Paul Sporer said it best when he was on the show. He's like, I'm not worried about Skubal. Plus 210. Crochet's plus 850.
Do you remember where we opened on these two?
Yes.
Or where we were at beginning of the season?
Skubal and Crochet were 1-2. Skubal was still the short shot, but Crochet was much closer.
Like similar. Oh, so closer. Okay.
Yes. Crochet was like, I want to say plus 450-ish.
Skubal around this same number?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe so. As beyond those two guys, it's Fried at 12-1, Brian Wu 13-1, Jacob deGrom 17-1, and Jose Soriano at 18-1. You want to stab at the next guy's name?
Yeah, that guy on the Yankees. Cam Schlittler.
There you go. I'll let you
say it. I'm more confident in that. Now that I've gotten like 6 reps.
I was just worried about Todd saying it.
Yeah, well, you're testing the broadcasting gods when you try to press it like that,
Yeah. Jose Soriano, so the Tom Tango Cy Young tracker, which I alluded to earlier when I was talking about the Mason Miller bet, which is there's a formula. Tango has hit, I want to say it's 33 out of the last 40, so the last 20 years of AL and NL Cy Young. He's hit 33 of them based on a simple formula, which I gave out earlier. I won't bore you with it again. But it really, like when you get to advanced stats, we can sit here and talk ourselves into a pretzel with advanced swinging strike rate. Remember the Spencer Strider year, right? It doesn't matter in the end unless somebody does something so ridiculous off the charts. The very early Tom Tango Cy Young tracker, Jose Soriano is your early leader.
Okay. I was going to say, if you had to make a bet outside of the top 2, so would it be Soriano?
I wouldn't recommend it on based on a Tom Tango. Maybe you have other reasons to bet Soriano, which is fine, but don't bet it based on the early Tom Tango numbers. But that's just to give you some context.
You wouldn't bet Soriano specifically, or you wouldn't bet off the top of the board?
No. I'm just saying, if you want to bet Soriano, and you believe in Soriano, by all means, go ahead and do it. He's off to a blazing start for the Angels. Just don't do it based on the fact that Tango has it number 1 currently. Gotcha. Because I don't think the formula isn't mature enough to base a bet on. Right.
How you feeling about Mackenzie Gore?
I like it so far. It's gone for what? I got him 35-1. He's 30-1. I mean, I think he's He's been okay so far.
Would that be if you had to tell people to make one bet? Would that be it? Would you go elsewhere?
It would still be my thing. The only thing about my Mackenzie Gore handicap had a lot to do with framing and getting out of Washington.
Yep, I remember that.
We Adam Burke and I talked about this yesterday. We talked about it, the three of us on air yesterday, which is it's still not clear how much the challenge is going to hurt framing. And so